In '82, if you were after something different from pop, there was one person you could trust above all others for a taste of the alternative.
And that's the end of tonight's programme, in which you heard the Desperate Bicycles, the Slits, the Mekons, Alternative TV, the UK Subs and Sham 69. More of the same unpleasant and disorientating racket on tomorrow night's programme. Until then, from me, John Peel, good night and good riddance.
John Peel had only ever hosted Top of the Pops once, back in 1968.
Apparently, he used to tell me that it was such a mess. He had one of those admonishments that, along the lines of, "You'll never work in TV again."
But this year, in spite of turning Top of the Pops into a three-ring circus, Michael Hurl invited John Peel back.
This is from John Peel's diary. To TV Centre in a highly nervous condition, I was rather thrown when I saw how many kids there were in the studio. I was introduced to them and left to say amusing things which I was quite clearly incapable of doing. This rattled me. I messed up takes 2 and 3, completely forgetting the spontaneous drolleries I'd been working on for months, and started sweating unpleasantly.
Partners, and welcome to Top of the Pops. This is my first Top of the Pops in 14 years, but it's consistency that counts, so you can watch for me again in 1996. And in case you're thinking to yourselves, who is that twerp? I'm the bloke who comes on the radio late at night, plays you records by lots of sulky Belgians. These people are not Belgian. Theatre of hate.
I mean, he genuinely was really chuffed to be asked to be on it, because I don't think he thought he'd ever do it again.
Back to number 24, Renee and Renato coming up. See if you can guess which one's which.
John Peel was a natural, because as you heard John Peel or saw John Peel, that was John Peel all the time.
Love makes the world go round, an interesting philosophy, and those were the Jets. 3 brothers, I'm advised, and I see no reason to disbelieve that. Now soft sell. Last time I saw him, a rather squalid gig in Leeds. Now on Top of the Pops.
When Peel was on, he didn't really smile. He didn't dance, he just stood there, he did it.
We're going to play you out tonight with Shack Attack. The fella in the dreadful shirt is my mate Bill Sharp. Good night.
It was great because it just gave it a different feel.
In case you're a latecomer and you were thinking that was Motorhead, you're wrong, it was Dollar. Give Me Back My Heart, a rather surgical title for a family programme in my view. This is Leo Say.
There were occasions on Top of the Pops where you were asked by Michael, the producer, to do an interview, and the interviews were quite quick and really not meaningful in the slightest.
Well, that's the Durans, and she's still here. I think it's mid-jumper she's after. Debbie, do you have any particular favourites of your own in the top 30? Well, while you're thinking about that, here's a chance for you to enjoy me doing the countdown.
Michael Hurl, I think, was concerned that maybe some of the presentation on Top of the Pops was getting a bit too unctuous and so eager to please and maybe a little bit bland. So by introducing Peely to the proceedings, you got somebody who brought with him an edge.
She made this herself in remedial needlework. It seemed like a good idea at the time, and I'm not so sure myself.
John Peel developed this act that he ran for years of kind of pretending that he wasn't keen on being there. He loved being there.
This is the first time I've managed to get my mother into the studio. We're going to go back to number 16, Soft Cell.
I know that he would have been aware that maybe some of his credibility might have been diminished because he was so happy doing it. But he really didn't care. I mean, he was quite happy to mix with the young kids and the bands and the artists and things like that, as a fan would. He really had that kind of mentality when he did it. It was just like being part of, well, for both of us, a big party.